Welcome to my channel. If you haven't watched the previous video, make sure to check it out first. The link is in the description below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And yes, drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let's dive into today's video. In the previous chapter, we saw an intense clash between Wu Qingqiu and Yan Mo as their powerful domains collided. Yan Mo's chaotic flames versus Wu Qingqiu's serene clarity domain. Meanwhile, Zhuo Fan, ever the strategist, observed from afar, silently analyzing the battle for his next move. Let's begin the chapter. In the realm of soul domain battles, there was an immutable law. Only one domain could reign supreme. Two domains could never coexist in the same space, and when a domain fell, so too did its master's soul. Yet what had just transpired was extraordinary. Yan Mo wielded the powerful yin-yang flames and unleashed them upon Wu Qingqiu's clarity domain. Instead of responding with an equal and opposing force, Wu Qingqiu's domain absorbed the attack. It was reminiscent of the demon transformation art, a technique that Zhuo Fan knew all too well. Zhuo Fan's thoughts drifted to his bitter experience in the Lightning Canyon. Even with the azure flame as protection, the purple lightning had infiltrated his body, forcing him to rely on Chao Ware's egg as a medium to absorb its energy through the demon transformation art. Now, watching Wu Qingqiu's strategy, Zhuo Fan had an epiphany. Perhaps this principle could work against Ye Lin. The decimating golden flame might be powerful, but surely it was no match for the destructive potential of the purple lightning. Zhuo Fan wasn't looking to merely block Ye Lin's attacks. He intended to absorb them and turn them to his advantage. A sly grin spread across his face as he mused. Wasn't this the very reason I chose this cultivation method? How could I have forgotten? But it was still just a theory, untested in the chaos of real combat. The static arrays he had faced before were predictable, their attacks automated. Facing a live opponent like Ye Lin, who could adapt his techniques in an instant, would be a much greater challenge. Yet this realization lit a fire within him, a drive to test his limits and prove his hypothesis. As these thoughts churned in Zhuo Fan's mind, the battle raged on. Yan Mo adjusted his tactics, summoning the yin-yang flame circle. Two flaming serpents, one red, one blue, coiled around the clarity domain, creating a spinning vortex of heat and fire. The flames surged into a massive wall, bearing down on Wu Qingqiu's domain with relentless intensity. The fiery onslaught was ferocious, threatening to consume the clarity domain entirely. The sizzling heat and crackling energy seemed overwhelming, but Wu Qingqiu's resolve never wavered. He made quick gestures, spinning the Taiji symbol beneath him faster and unleashing wind blades that sliced through the flames, forcing them to scatter. Yan Mo gritted his teeth and worked to stabilize his flames, but Wu Qingqiu seized the moment. With a commanding shout, he declared, "The great world holds everything and has everything, world harmony." The clarity domain collapsed inward, allowing the flames to surge forward and engulf Wu Qingqiu. Yet, at the heart of the inferno, the Taiji symbol began to expand, its black and white light spreading through Yan Mo's domain. The flames, once so dominant, were drawn into the symbol's endless spinning cycle, neutralized and rendered harmless. Yan Mo's eyes widened as he struggled to regain control of his flames, but it was too late. The yin-yang flame circle had been completely absorbed into Wu Qingqiu's domain. The power balance had shifted irrevocably. Recognizing his defeat, Yan Mo shook his head in resignation. "Brother Yan, you let me win," Wu Qingqiu said with a respectful bow, his tone humble. Yan Mo sighed deeply. "I still lost. Wu Qingqiu, you are truly the greatest talent in the Western lands." Wu Qingqiu offered a polite smile. "Brother Yan is too kind. To be honest, I was starting to sweat during our domain clash. Luck played a large role in my victory." Yan Mo's lips twitched in irritation. "There's no need for false humility. You held back against me. Your strength doesn't rely on brute force. Instead, You used a softer approach to grasp victory in the final moments. If you hadn't, I would have been gravely injured when my domain collapsed." Wu Qingqiu chuckled. "Brother Yan, I admire your honesty, but you're mistaken about one thing. I no longer hold the title of the best talent in the Western lands." He cast a glance toward Ye Lin and then Zhuo Fan. "I can't help but wonder who among them truly deserves that title." Yan Mo followed his gaze, his expression somber. Both of them tread the path of overwhelming power, showing no mercy. You've seen it yourself. Your junior brother killed an opponent with a single strike, and Zhuo Fan obliterated souls without hesitation. When he fought me, he left me gravely injured. They are men of unyielding strength, not bound by the constraints of modesty or courtesy. Wu Qingqiu nodded thoughtfully. Unlike the ruthless Zhuo Fan and Ye Lin, his approach was rooted in the orthodox teachings of righteousness, tempered with courtesy and restraint. He knew that against monsters like them, his gentler methods would falter. He doubted he would last more than 3 moves in a direct confrontation. Yet his principled demeanor had earned him the respect of many, including his fiercest adversary, Yan Mo. "But," Yan Mo added, his tone firm, "you will always be the best talent in the Western lands to me. Those two are monsters, not humans." With that, Yan Mo left the stage, not even waiting for the judge to formally announce his withdrawal. Unlike Zhao Dezhu's cowardly surrender earlier, Yan Mo's exit was dignified. He had fought with all his might and would have risked his life for victory, but he recognized the futility of continuing. Sometimes, retreat was the wiser choice. As the judge declared Ultimate Clarity Sect's victory, the atmosphere shifted. The subsequent matches between Ultimate Clarity Sect and Hellion Flame were fierce but respectful, more akin to friendly duels than life-or-death struggles. Unlike the earlier bloodshed, these battles ended with heavy wounds but no fatalities. This mutual respect extended even to the disciples of Hellion Flame, who refrained from delivering killing blows despite their fiery reputation. Meanwhile, Universal Righteous Sect's passive approach continued to draw ridicule. Their leader, Zhao Dezhu, had his team surrender matches outright, earning scorn from both spectators and participants. His feigned kindness and reluctance to engage in genuine combat only fueled Wu Qingqiu's frustration. If not for his principled nature, Wu Qingqiu might have delivered a sound beating to Zhao Dezhu himself. Ye Lin, however, showed no such restraint. When Zhao Dezhu's team began their charade in a match, Ye Lin responded mercilessly, incinerating 3 of their strongest disciples with his decimating golden flame. The message was clear: half-hearted efforts would not be tolerated. Zhao Dezhu's regret was palpable. Those 3 disciples had been his trump cards, and now they were gone. His strategy of conserving strength had backfired spectacularly, leaving his team weakened and demoralized. The day ended with the conclusion of the Superior 3 Sect's stage. Ultimate Clarity Sect and Hellion Flame had fought valiantly, earning mutual respect despite their bruises and exhaustion. In stark contrast, Universal Righteous Sect had conserved their strength but lost the respect of all who witnessed their cowardice. As the stage was set for the next round, the upstart sects, Demon Scheming Sect and Sword God Sect, prepared to face the challenges ahead. With powerhouses like Ye Lin and Zhuo Fan looming on the horizon, the battles promised to be anything but predictable. The announcement echoed across the arena. "The Superior 3 Sect stage has ended. Ultimate Clarity Sect takes first place, Hellion Flame second, and Universal Righteous Sect third. The Superior 3 Sect's challenge stage will commence 3 days from now. That is all for today." The judge's voice was firm as he delivered the conclusion, scanning the crowd briefly before stepping away. With a gesture, the 2 gatekeepers swung the massive dimension door shut, signaling the end of the day's proceedings. As the crowd dispersed, the air buzzed with excitement. Conversations filled the space as participants and spectators alike reflected on the thrilling battles they had witnessed. Many, however, couldn't help but cast curious glances at the members of the Demon Scheming Sect and Sword God Sect. The two teams, labeled as underdogs, were now the talk of the event. Could they dare to challenge the superior three sects? High above the arena, Fan stood silently, his expression heavy. His sharp eyes locked onto Yelin of the Ultimate Clarity sect. Sensing the intense gaze, Yelin turned, a confident smile on his face. Without a sound, he mouthed a message to Fan. "See you in 3 days." Then, with a slight nod, Yelin followed his team out of the arena, leaving Fan in deep thought. Fan let out a slow, steadying breath. For his sect to have reached this point was already a remarkable achievement. Objectively, there was no real need to push further. But Yelin, he was no ordinary opponent. With the power of the sacred beast, decimating dragon ancestor backing him, Yelin's abilities in alchemy and arrays were terrifyingly advanced, rivaling even Fan's. The truth was, Yelin was a monster, an anomaly who would stand out even in the sacred domain. For the first time, Fan felt genuine doubt. Could he win against such a being? The logical choice would be to avoid confrontation altogether. But deep within, something stirred. The sacred beast power within him resonated, a primal call that was impossible to ignore. Fan's heart raced. Regret loomed as a far worse enemy than defeat. If he backed down now, he would never forgive himself. This wasn't just a fight, it was destiny. A battle between two men carrying the power of sacred beasts, one that had to happen. As if in response to this unspoken challenge, Fan's eyes lit up, a fierce determination replacing his earlier hesitation. Blood surged through his veins, his spirit aflame with the anticipation of a fight. Lost in his thoughts, Fan was startled by a voice from behind. "Oh, does Brother feel fear?" He turned sharply to find Wen Tao, his gaze steady and filled with curiosity. "Fear? Where do you see fear on me?" Fan asked, raising an eyebrow. Wen Tao studied him for a moment before chuckling. "Ah, my mistake. You're not afraid. You're excited. I misunderstood." He nodded approvingly. "That's the right attitude. Fighting against a true expert, win or lose, is a rare opportunity. It helps you grow to better understand your path. I envy you." Wen Tao's words carried a hint of bitterness. Fan frowned. "You're the head of the middle three sects. Why not challenge the superior three sects yourselves?" Wen Tao shook his head, his smile turning wry. "You already know why. Our souls suffered severe injuries during the middle three sects stage. Even with miracle pills, it'll take over a year to recover. We're not in any condition to continue." Fan nodded thoughtfully. The Sword God sect had fought valiantly, pushing themselves to their absolute limit. Their injuries were a testament to their resolve and commitment to their ideals. "It's a shame," Fan said softly. Wen Tao chuckled. "No regrets, though. We fought with everything we had and lost fair and square. That's how it should be. But you've climbed higher than anyone has in centuries. This is your moment. Don't let fear hold you back. Cultivators walk the Tao with unwavering steps. Hesitation now will only make your path harder later." Fan's lips curled into a faint smile. "Wise words. Thank you." Wen Tao waved dismissively. "You already know this. I'm just here to remind you. Now go show them what you're made of." With that, Wen Tao turned and walked away, his figure exuding quiet dignity despite his defeat. Watching him leave, Fan felt a surge of respect. Just as his thoughts began to drift, a sudden shadow fell over him. Before he could react, a black figure swooped in, grabbing him and whisking him away at lightning speed. The world blurred around him, and when he finally regained his footing, he found himself in a secluded forest clearing. Standing before him was none other than Danking Shen, his expression dark and menacing. Fan's heart sank. Cold sweat dripped down his back as a single thought consumed him. Had Danking Shen discovered the truth? His voice trembled slightly as he spoke, masking his unease with a forced smile. "Senior, what brings you here? Have I done something to offend you?" Danking Shen's gaze bore into him, unrelenting. "No, it's those two old fools sealing the realm." Relief washed over Zhuo Fan, and he quickly adjusted his demeanor. "I see. Then, Senior, why have you brought me here?" Danking Shen sighed, frustration evident in his tone. "The realm where the sacred mine is located, it's been sealed. Normally, the battlefield during the Double Dragon gathering serves as an entry point, its spiritual energy aiding the disciples. But if the sacred mine is threatened, the two exalted can seal it off. That's what they've done. I had planned to sneak in through the heaven-reaching pavilion, but with it sealed, I'm left with no options." Zhuo Fan tilted his head, feigning innocence. "Senior, I don't see how this concerns me." Danking Shen cut him off with a sharp look. "It concerns you because you're going to take me inside." Zhuo Fan recoiled, shaking his head vehemently. "Absolutely not. Even if I wanted to, how could I possibly smuggle you in? Your aura alone would give you away instantly." Danking Shen smirked, unbothered by Zhuo Fan's protests. "You're right. A simple disguise won't fool those two. That's why I'll be hiding in your storage ring."